What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. On this channel, I wanted to dive into NFTs. I've spoken a little bit about them, wanted to discuss photography NFTs specifically. Now, before you just exit out of this video because NFTs are just stupid JPEGs, hear me out. In this series of videos, I'll talk about what NFTs are, some misconceptions about them, how some have actual utility, and share some real-world applications of these NFTs. In future videos, I'll also discuss the underlying technology, blockchain, as well as how to create or mint your own NFT. Before we jump in, a couple things to note. Nothing that I say is in any way, shape, or form financial advice. I am not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I started diving into NFTs back in December, and so I'm still fairly new to this whole space. But I find it extremely intriguing, and I wanted to bring you all along as I continue to learn more about this space myself. So first things first, what is an NFT? NFT stands for non-fungible token. Fungible itself means something that is able to replace or be replaced by an identical item. Currencies are examples of something that is fungible. You can replace $1 for another dollar, and it is, for all intents and purposes, the same exact thing. An example of something that is non-fungible would be a painting like the Mona Lisa. There is and only ever will be one Mona Lisa. You can take a photo of it, you can go to a gift shop and buy a copy of it or a poster of it, but it'll obviously never be worth the same amount as the original painting. So too, an NFT is one of a kind and not replaceable thanks to blockchain technology. Again, we'll discuss this in a future video, but for an introduction to NFTs, blockchain technology allows for these NFTs to be authenticated in a virtually certain fashion. Like art, trading cards, or other collectibles, NFTs can appreciate or depreciate over time, which means they can be an investment for the purchaser. So let's consider traditional investing. When you buy a stock, you don't actually receive anything other than the potential to get a positive or negative return on investment. While some stocks do provide dividends, for the sake of this comparison, let's just consider the ones that don't. NFTs, like stocks, are essentially just a gamble on the entity behind the actual investment. When you buy a stock, you're betting on the company's success. When you buy an NFT, you're betting on the artist's success or the team of people behind that particular project. Imagine you bought an NFT sold by the Beatles back when they got together in 1960. Perhaps it was an NFT of the lyrics Let It Be. You would have paid very little for it at the time, but oh how it would have appreciated when they became one of the most famous bands in the entire world. On top of that, imagine that with purchasing that NFT, you actually got some perks like backstage passes with the actual band. Think of the increased value that that would have added as the band continued to grow, of course until they eventually broke up. Now, for a photographer, the utility behind an NFT could include free prints, free editing tutorials, free workshops or tours as they are traveling the country or the world. There are many real-world benefits that can be applied to these NFT projects on top of just the appreciation of the actual NFT itself. Let's also quickly discuss the Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you've heard anything about NFTs over the past year or so, you will likely have heard about Bored Apes. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is a collection of cartoon ape NFTs that have made some people multi-millionaires over the past year or so. Since the project has been created, the community around it has continued to grow, and so now there are even exclusive high-end events that are being held across the country, across the world, that are only able to be attended should you have a Bored Ape NFT. And the Bored Ape Yacht Club is absolutely an outlier project. However, it's just a good example of how an NFT project's life cycle can evolve. You can have something just based on community that is really grassroots and built over time by the individuals that are excited in that project. And then they can actually start applying different utility, being able to create video games or have merch or have in real life events that people get together and finally meet. And I do want to discuss some of the misconceptions around NFTs. The first and most common being, well, it's just a JPEG, why can't I just screenshot it? Well, I'll point back to my original point with the Mona Lisa. Sure, you can go to the Louvre and take a photo of the Mona Lisa, but the Mona Lisa is currently valued at around $850 million. You'd be lucky to get $1 for your photo of the Mona Lisa. Same thing applies to NFTs. You can screenshot them, but at the end of the day, they're not going to be the original piece and therefore are not going to be worth what the original is. And again, that's due to the blockchain technology, which we'll discuss at a future date and why blockchain allows them to truly be non-fungible. But for the sake of this video, it is the case that they are unique and therefore they have a store of value, again, because of scarcity. And a word of caution if you're getting into NFTs, either investing or creating your own. Do your research. There's an extremely large amount of money that is being thrown around in the NFT space. There are constantly new artists that are coming in and oversaturating the market, just trying to make a quick buck. Most projects will inevitably fail in the long term. And this is not just my opinion. This is the opinion of highly intelligent investors, hedge fund managers, people who have been involved in NFTs for many years. If you're watching this video because you want to create your own NFTs, photography or musical or whatever it might be, my advice to you is constantly pay attention to what is going on in the market and evolve. I truly feel that it is worth, at the very least, to learn about this space and involve yourself in some sort of way, because it is going to be a major part of our future. There's a ton to learn about NFTs, and so if you're interested in learning more or getting more involved into the space, feel free to message me, ideally on Twitter, and I'd be happy to help. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.